You better know.
Baby.
Hey. Hey, baby.
What are you doing? You in my bag.
I heard.
Oh. Whoa.
Pull it out.
Whoa. And now do it.
Yay, you get the fire out.
Whoa.
You put it up here so no one touch it. It's a no-no, okay? No touching.
You use the more and stuff. What?
No touching.
Whoa! It's spin.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Listen.
You play with the smoke. No, play with smoke.
I'm swinging something.
You being good?
I'm swinging.
You being good?
Woo!
Ooh. Baby Bluey gone. Baby Bluey gone. Go get him. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh no, what happened to Baby Bluey?
You got some sauce.
Let me see. Aww. Baby Bluey hurt his tail.
Okay. I want.
Come on. You okay? We'll kiss Baby Bluey. Kiss it out. Mwah. Baby Bluey hurt himself.
Ow! My eyes.
Eyes?
My hussy.
Eyes? He can't see?
He's an hussy.
You gotta wipe his eyes off so he can see.
And nose.
And the nose?
It's nose.
No! Leave the light on.
Go.
Turn the light on. Turn the light on. Why you turn it off? Bad little baby. Why you turn the light off? Look at you. We told you about that running. Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are you guys doing? Y'all, I must say, it's like, I'm sorry, it's not a laughing matter, but I feel like this generation is the most laziest generation not ever fucking seen. It's not the kids, it's the parents that's lazy to kids because I cannot. The reason why A lot of people are lazy now is because of how their parents grew up. So I'm like, oh my god. Mm. Yeah, I feel bad for America right now. I ain't gonna lie. I feel bad for America. The shithole we going through right now, I feel bad. But the thing is, you know, a lot of times where we be voting for people, we don't know who we vote for until they get in office and they start showing their true colors. Then it's like, oh, we should have voted for this person. We should have voted for that person. But at the end of the day, once again, we don't know these people true colors until they get into office. And when they start showing their true colors, then it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, we can't win for losing. You know what I'm saying? We cannot win for losing. So people people are on a verge now. People are on the verge of losing their health care insurance. Either they in the verge of losing their health care or the premiums is about to go up. And I've spoken that before. I want to speak on that before. But now it's like it's getting worse. It's getting worse because we got the government shutdown. Now we're in a state of emergency. Now it's at a state of an emergency because people at Congress refuse to get their head out of their asses and give people the shit that they fucking need. They need to realize it's not always about them. You know, they need to realize it's not always about them. It's not always what they want. It's about what the people want. We voted for these people to be in office so we can have somebody to advocate for us. You know what I'm saying? When we voted for these people, we had high hopes for these people. But now it's like it's a slap in our face. Because all they want is money in their pockets first. They want to make sure they got money in their pockets first before we get anything. They want to be first in line to get their 20 million or $20 trillion. And then whatever is left, we get the spell change, basically. So as to this point, don't ask me nothing about voting. Don't ask me nothing about elections and shit like that because it's like when it comes to elections, it's a wild card. You know, it's really like a wild card because you'll never know who we really gonna get. You know, until like midway through office. And once we realized what we got, we basically they gave us a drop boy card and said, "Oh yeah, drop boy on or out." Basically, it's hard to pick who we want for the people and who we want to represent for the people. It's hard to pick that because they can tell us a bunch of things. They say XYZ, and then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, ABC." They'll turn around and say something else, something different after what they said on TV, what they gotta do, and then when I'm not doing what they say they doing, if they do, it's for another party rather than looking out for their own people. One thing I agree with, they right now Congress is in the office. Okay, the Democrats and Republicans are in the office trying to convince each other to put healthcare back into its original spot or make it affordable where everybody is happy. They try to raise it up to $2,000. One person said they was already paying. Okay, they was already paying $250 for health care insurance. Now they're about to pay $700. Another person said they was already paying $800 for health care insurance. Now they're about to pay damn near $2,000 for health care insurance every 2 weeks. That is insane. $2,000 every 2 weeks if this bill is passed. That is crazy. So this is what I mean. Like they rather have money in their own pockets than to sit up here and look out for the people who actually need it. Now we into week 5 of the government shutdown, and nothing being said, nothing is being done. Matter of fact, let me take that back. It's a bunch of words being said, but nothing's being done. They voting, 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 but it's like they get closer and closer to the amount of votes they need, but it's always the one set of people that don't want to vote yes. Okay, they don't want to vote yes. They want to vote no. They don't want to make sure that we good. They don't want to make sure we got a roof over our head, a pot to piss in, food in a motherfucking refrigerator and shit. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the Republicans and the Democrats up here arguing, fighting, and people are about to get kicked out of the motherfucking house. And it's getting cold outside. It's getting cold. Food prices are going up, and it's getting cold. Y'all, let me tell you something. When it comes to hustling, if you got hustle in your blood, I don't know what to tell you. Because my people, we got hustle in our blood. We got hustling in our blood. Like, we really do. Okay, it got passed down to me. Cause I always said one thing I'm not gonna sit up here and do is starve for another motherfucker to make sure they good. No, I'm not gonna sit up here and starve for nobody. I'm not gonna sit up here and go broke for nobody. And none of that. I'ma find a way. And motherfucker, what I say, I'ma find a way. I'ma find a way. Like Uber Eats, people up here complaining on motherfucking YouTube. I use a TikTok. They up here complaining about TikTok, talk about, oh, I don't got a way to feed a kid. I don't got a way to pay bills. Bitch, there's Uber fucking Eats. As long as Uber Eats around, that's your way of paying bill. It might not pay much. Uber Eats and Lyft and Uber, the taxi service, and as long as they around, you gotta have a way to pay some motherfucking bills. As long as social media around, you gotta have a way to pay some motherfucking bills. You got Twitch. Twitch pays out every fucking week. Get your ass on Twitch. Now it's the motherfucking time to do it. Thanksgiving's around. Christmas is around the corner. You probably could get your Twitch verified around December if you go ahead and do it now. Be consistent with it. If you go ahead and do it now, your Twitch should be verified in December. Depends on what you do. But stop coming up here talk about I don't have no way to feed my kids when you youngest for you, you're 20 with kids. Okay, cool. But you got social media, you got a certain amount of followers, they can get you paid. You got a certain amount of followers, they can get you paid on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Kick. A lot of people say, "Oh, Kick, get your ass on Kick, make you some motherfucking money." Why are you up here complaining about I don't have a way? There's always a way. A lot of these people are just lazy as fuck. There's always a way to make some money. Okay? Now, for the people who really don't have a way, yes, I feel bad for them because if they can't stand up for too long, they can't use their arms, their legs. They're probably blind or something. They probably got a brain tumor or something that kept them from working. I understand that. But it's people up here who is complaining about not having a way when God is literally making you a way. I'm pretty sure Uber right now needs drivers. I'm pretty sure Lyft right now needs drivers. Twitch, as long as Twitch around, there's always a way to make some money. If you don't want to get your ass out of work, you can get your ass on social media and work. You can get your ass on social media and work, try to get some sponsor deals or something. Get on TikTok. Start getting sponsor deals. Okay? There's always a way to make some fucking money. I'm sick and tired of people over here talking about ain't no way. Y'all young as fuck. Talk about it. And there's no way to get some fucking money right now. The government fucking shut down. Social media ain't shut down. Okay? Social fucking media is not shut the fuck down. You got a fan base, use it. Advertise the shit out of that motherfucker. Stop getting out here complaining and utilize that platform. Matter of fact, utilize all platforms as you can to get some money up of that. Cause Christmas come around, yeah, okay. Bill, the kids might not be able to get Christmas presents this year. I bet you that rent gonna get paid. I bet you them light bills are gonna get paid. I bet you them it's gonna be food. Okay. I bet you food gonna be put in a refrigerator and then fill the fuck up, stock the fuck up. They might not have no Christmas presents underneath the Christmas tree this year, but at least I got food in the motherfucking house. At least they got clothes on their backs. Heat is still good. Like, come on now. It's always a way. It's always a way to get up here to make some motherfucking money, especially in the middle of the motherfucking shutdown. Get you a PS5. I know the PS5 is like $500. You know, I know it's a bit expensive. If you can afford a PS5, get you a PS4. Get your ass on a fucking Twitch. Once again, get your ass on a Twitch. Get them games up. Get them views up. And boom, you got enough money to feed yourself. Feed your family. Feed your house. And that's always the motherfucking way to make some goddamn money. I was never the type to sit up here and just depend on the government, depend on people's taxes to pay my way. That shit is really just temporary, and they tell you that. You know, government assistance is just temporary to help you get up on your feet. It was not. It was never meant to be motherfucking permanent. It was never meant to be permanent. I'm just crazy how many people I'm seeing complain. And not only I'm seeing people complain, it's mostly young people my age who ain't got a motherfucking disability complaining. Okay? It's people my age who ain't got a disability complaining. Talk about they don't have a way to get nowhere, do this, do that. Again, if you have a platform, use it, utilize it. I have a platform. I got YouTube. I got 3,800 some subs on YouTube right now that I could get verified. I'm gonna start putting that motherfucker to work. Find some videos on TikTok, find some videos on Instagram, and put that motherfucker to work. I'll tell my mama and stepdaddy, right? I told my mama and stepdaddy, we sat down. We was talking about how we gonna afford Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner. I said, "Don't worry about it. I got it." I said, "Don't worry about it. I got it." Because why? I know how to get some fucking money. Like right now, I'm still with Lyft. Not Lyft. I'm sorry. I'm still with Uber. They got an option for you to get on a motherfucking bike and ride around town on a fucking bike, delivering. And I did that before. I got my big titty ass on a motherfucking bike and delivered food. I got a whole witness. A whole witness. Don't ever, ever get up here and talk about that. You don't got to wear. You young as fuck. You young as fuck. And nothing wrong with you. You don't got no cancer. You don't got no tumor. You're not blind or nothing. No, you just being lazy. These people out here just being fucking lazy. If I could get my ass up on a bike and deliver food and get a couple of dollars, you can too. Like, I still got my Uber app. I would never delete my Uber app. As long as they give me permission to use that shit to make some money, like I said, I'll always find a way. I'm gonna they gonna ask me, can you sponsor Thanksgiving this year? I'm like, I tell my mama, I'm like, first of all, you don't ever have to worry about asking me to sponsor Thanksgiving. After all the times I done came over here and cooked for y'all, and y'all slammed the fuck down that food. I mean, licked that motherfucking plate, cleaned the fuck out, and went to sleep. Y'all don't ever have to worry about asking me to sponsor Thanksgiving or Christmas. As long as Uber Eats around, as long as Lyft around, I got them. They don't gotta worry about um starving throughout the month. But November and motherfucking December, my parents will never have to worry about starving as long as I'm around. Okay? And next month I'm gonna do a big ass grocery haul. I told them I'm gonna get a deep freezer. I pitch in for a deep freezer. Pitch in, you pitch in. We got two deep freezers on the way. We're gonna fill that motherfucker up, fill the cabinets up, fill the refrigerator up, and fill the freezer up. Like we're not gonna be starving over here. Not doing a shutdown. No man, not him, not turkey. And I'm gonna do the same thing for my house. Like when I get my next apartment, when I get my next apartment, I gotta stock the fuck up on my house because I'll be damn if we have another shutdown or we have to go in the house because of COVID or whatever the case might be. My shit would be ready. My shit would be stocked the fuck up to the point where I shouldn't have to go to no corner store. I shouldn't have to do a Target run. I shouldn't have to do a Walmart run for the next 3 to 5 months. And that's all everything. Now, one thing for sure, like if me and my mama fighting and y'all hear about it, that's just me and my mama fighting. Y'all gonna hear about it, but at the end of the day, she's still gonna make sure I'm good. So I gotta wait, shape, or form. We gotta be up here hooting and hollering, throwing blow for blow, but at the end of the day, we're gonna go right back to talking. Give us like a week or two later, and we're gonna be right back talking like ain't shit happened. I'd be damn if we motherfucker go hungry doing a government shutdown and all the shit is gone. Not fuck that. It's sad that you gotta have a whole government shutdown just to see people true colors. Like that is crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. Prices out there. Y'all don't mind me. I'm over here doing some homework while I talk to y'all.
Now I don't mean to sound rude, give me a hurt you. But we was doing trick, yeah, on a dick, yeah. We in the cutting, motherfucker. You done done too much. You got it coming, motherfucker. Step back, that ain't so. Shoot your hands, yeah. Trick, yeah, on a dick, yeah. You tell me you want a bitch, yeah. That ain't shit, shit. I'm a nigga with the money, yeah. Thought it funny, yeah.
It's getting colder and colder. And there's no there's no end in sight with this government shutdown. It feels like it's 30 degrees outside. Like literally 30 degrees outside right now. And I it now it's not the time to be talking about a government shutdown. So yeah, my nephew was playing. It was a toy, and it was like copyright music in the back. So yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, now's not the time to be up here talking about a whole government shutdown when the weather's changing and day by day. One day it's hot, the next day it's cold, and then it's freezing cold at night, and then it's warm during the day. During the day, like it's really not the time to be talking about oh Medicaid about to get cut, Medicare about to get cut, food stamps about to get cut, low income housing is about to get cut. Once again, can nobody sit up here and afford a $2,000 rent or a $2,000 mortgage on a low income budget? If you only coming home with $800, what made you think that person can afford a $2,000 rent or a $2,000 mortgage if they only coming home with $800 every 2 weeks at best? Even with the third job, it's still not enough. Even with the third job, it's still not enough. They need to stop playing, get their head out of their ass, and vote and be for real. Like, be so serious right now. It's like I don't got time for it. Like I don't have time to be sitting up here getting sick. And luckily I got the flu shot and the COVID shot, so I'm good for the year. But still, like you can still get sick, even you got the flu shot, cause you still got the common cold. You know, you're not shot for that, but you still could get sick. It's just that they would have wait until the worst time of the year to talk about a government shutdown. They want to wait till the worst time of the year to talk about, oh yeah, we ran out of funding, we ran out of money. Now Amazon's getting affected. Now Amazon is getting affected. They can't afford to pay their workers. They can't afford to bring in more money so they can have money for their families to come home with. Stop this government shutdown. Like people in office has the power to stop the government shutdown, but they refuse. They refuse. They rather have money in their pockets to make sure they shit is on, rather to make sure we got money in our pockets to make sure our shit is on. Now people, essential workers and federal workers, is about to go into a whole nother pay week, a whole nother pay period without getting paid. And nobody has a motherfucking solution. Like nobody has a fucking solution on how we're gonna get money to pay for stuff that we need. Wait a minute, what's this? Government shutdown. The Pentagon received $130 million donation to pay military and SNAP benefits. What? When they do that? Where they do that at? Somebody donated $130 million for the military and SNAP benefits. What the hell? Okay, let's hear about this.
That's why I'm with Aya now. Their jobs are real, updated in real time, and backed by the largest network in the country.
Shutdown heading into day 25, there's no end to finding a stalemate. In the meantime, the impact is being felt in a growing number of ways, including by those who rely on extra help to make ends meet. Erica Brown has more details from Capitol Hill.
In Southern California, the National Guard is lending a hand at food banks as the government shutdown threatens to delay benefits for families in need.
With the government shutdown, we expect to see a delay in food benefits to over 5 million Californians. And that's food that families and kids rely on and resources that they need.
With the stalemate now in its fourth week, the impact on Americans is growing.
Flights get canceled. It takes a while to get through TSA. It's kind of stressful.
Staffing shortages among air traffic controllers during the ongoing funding standoff here on Capitol Hill has caused flight delays and some cancellations at airports nationwide.
They're great American patriots who come to work every single day knowing that they don't have a paycheck going into their bank account, even though they're providing critical services to the American economy.
As potential payment lapses for essential workers like active duty military members raise concerns, the Pentagon confirmed Friday that it accepted an anonymous gift of $130 million for their pay. The move raises legal questions after President Trump said he received an offer to cover U.S. service members' pay.
A friend of mine, a man that's great. I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it.
Last week, the Trump administration shifted $8 billion from military research and development funds to meet the Pentagon's payroll obligations. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Meantime, the Trump administration is not going to use contingency funds to help keep SNAP benefits funded through November amid the ongoing government shutdown. That's according to a report from the Associated Press, which cited a Department of Agriculture memo. The memo reportedly argued that the funds would not be legally available to cover the food and aid benefits. Several states have told food stamp recipients that benefits may stop in November if the government shutdown continues.
So somebody donated $130 million to the military and SNAP benefits, but they will not use the $130 million for SNAP. That is some selfish ass shit right there. Selfish as fuck. $130 million. And they talk about they want to use it for the people that's on SNAP. That is crazy. That is so. Ooh, I can't stay in this country.
Putting forth a proposal to say that they should not be punished and they should be paid. Now, we'll hear later today, we're going to be taking up here in the Senate a piece of legislation from Senator Johnson, and that proposal would pay federal employees who are currently working right now. Our proposal doesn't discriminate among federal employees. And here's the really dangerous part, I would argue, about Senator Johnson's proposal. We have a president, President Trump, who, along with Russ Vought, who's his, guy in the cockpit at OMB, this is the guy who said publicly that he wanted to inflict trauma. That's his word, not mine. Inflict trauma on the federal workforce. If you allow them to decide who they're going to keep on the job in the federal government and who they're going to pay, you're giving them also a blank check as to who they're going to send home and who they're going to punish not paying. That's what they've been doing. Much of what they've been doing is illegal. In fact, we have a federal court in California that's already said that their layoffs of some of the federal employees and some of the agencies are illegal. But if you just let them decide who's going to get paid and who's not, you weaponize that illegality. You weaponize the federal government. And by the way, and I think we all know this, if President Trump gets to keep the folks he wants on the job and pay the folks that he wants who are on the job and nobody else, he'll have even less incentive to end the government shutdown. He'll have the government he wants, not the one that has been supported on a bipartisan basis by the United States Congress. So giving the president a blank check to decide which federal employees to punish and which ones not to punish is a very dangerous thing at this moment. That's why the proposal I'm putting forward, and Senator Peters will have an even narrower version that he will be put forward if our Republican colleagues don't support the one that I'm advancing along with Senator Warner, Senator Kaine, Senator Alsobrooks, and others. These proposals say that federal employees should not be punished. Now, we've already made that decision. We've already made that decision as a Congress in the past. During the first Trump shutdown, that was the 35-day Trump shutdown. During that shutdown, Senator Card and myself and others, we passed a piece of legislation that was signed by the president that says at the end of a shutdown, federal employees get fully paid. They're held harmless. Why did we decide to do that? Because we collectively made the right decision that federal employees who have nothing to do with the government shutdown should not be the ones punished
Exactly.
for something they were not culpable in. That was the right decision. What my proposal and our proposal will do is based on that idea that no federal employee should be punished for something they had nothing to do with. And not only should they get repaid at the end of this, but why would we say to them that you can't have enough pay to...
No, they should pay everybody triple the amount of money that they lost. You did a whole government shutdown that had nothing to do with the low class and middle class citizen. Matter of fact, a lot of people really didn't have nothing to do with the shutdown. It was more so y'all. So for the people who lost money, including people that's owed government benefits like Social Security, okay. Even though so far what I heard that Social Security did not get affected, but still, what if that would got affected and we would have lost that shit too? Okay, everybody should get some kind of compensation. You know, either pay people double on what they lost or triple on what they lost. Not just, oh yeah, you only lost a month, so you only got to get a month worth of pay. No, double or triple. You know, pain and suffering.
to make your electric bills, to put in place political cronies and pay them, and send home hardworking civil servants who perform important functions. So that's what our proposal will do. And for any of our colleagues, regardless of the side of the aisle, who agree that federal employees should not be the ones who are punished for something they got nothing to do with, I hope we'll all agree to support this measure. Now, I don't know if Mr. President, Senator Peters wants to talk at all on this particular proposal. He's going to be talking on the next proposal. I know that some of my colleagues are on the way to the floor as we speak. Senator Kaine and others. And I will, when they arrive, I will return the floor to them to have say their piece. But at this time, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S-3039, introduced earlier today, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Mr. President,
Senator of Wisconsin.
reserving the right to object. Mr. President, I've come here today on the floor in good faith. I've come here not to argue. I've come here trying to find agreement. And I've listened to the senator from Virginia, now the senator from Maryland, and I have to say, I don't know exactly.
Nestled between summer's happy chaos and the holiday hustle bustle is Scottsdale's best.
I completely agree with the other senator said we should not have to suffer because people in the White House don't know how to budget their money correctly. We shouldn't have to suffer for that.
I agree with. a clean CR, similar if not identical to what happened 13 times during the Biden administration, just a clean CR to open up the government at President Biden's levels, funding levels that Democrats voted for. By the way, House Republicans could have come with a table, a CR with $1.5 trillion of spending reductions to match the $1.5 trillion of spending increase the Democrats wanted. And now there'd be areas of compromise. But the House Republicans basically said, here's the deal. Let's not shut down government. But let's not make federal government workers pay for our dysfunction. So they passed a clean CR at President Biden's funding level. So again, that's been voted down 12 times, regrettably. But let me set that aside. Found out about the senator from Maryland's proposal last night. Got the language this morning. I've got the bill here. And first of all, I kind of chuckled because the name of the bill is I've actually got the true Warren Buffett tax, and we ought to talk about that later on. You might find that interesting. But so he's taken my bill, the Shutdown Fairness Act. Now his bill is the true Shutdown Fairness Act. And again, I haven't done a word count comparison, but it's probably like 95+% of the Shutdown Fairness Act. That's a good thing. That shows there's a lot of areas of agreement. I come from the private sector. You don't get a whole lot accomplished arguing all the time. It's all about finding areas of agreement. I got a product, you want to buy it, now we'll haggle over the price. Okay, so I got a product, you want to buy it, now we need to haggle over the price. Now, the three areas of the differences in these bills, I think I've got this right. I'd asked the senator from Maryland to confirm that. Your bill is only for this fiscal year. My bill would just end this, punishing federal workers for our dysfunction forever. I mean, I think we should make it permanent. The senator from Maryland's bill includes furloughed employees. Now, the fact of the matter is, when all this is said and done, when we finally end this dysfunction, we fund government through an appropriation, because the 2019 Government Fair Transparency or Fair Treatment Act, the Government Fair Treatment Act, they'll get paid anyway. So my bill is obviously targeted to the people we're forcing to work, but I'm not necessarily opposed to paying furloughed workers as well. That's something we can talk about, okay? The last difference is it limits reduction in force. Now, I come from the private sector. Nobody likes to terminate employees. Nobody.
Yes, but they do.
But in the private sector, when a business is facing bankruptcy, sometimes business owners are forced to do that to preserve the other jobs.
The bosses?
The federal government is $38 trillion in debt. I don't think we should limit the president's ability, the chief executive's ability to properly manage the federal government and make the tough decisions sometimes to reduce the workforce. Cut out some government functions. But again, that's something we can talk about. So again, I think, in fairness of the more than 2 million in federal employees that are now being forced to work because they're termed accepted, but that means they're essential. They're protecting our nation. They're protecting our safety and security. They're writing Social Security checks. To see that they get their paycheck so they don't have to work DoorDash, so they don't have to go to food banks. So they're not under that stress. I am asking in good faith. Let's figure out how to get that done.
And how am I doing it? At the
Now,
end of the day,
I mean, I could propose.
at the end of the day, it's money in it. As long as it's money in it, I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't mind doing it.
Take this. I'll change the name of mine, by the way, if you want to call it the true, because I think it's the true Shutdown Fairness Act. I would be, today, right now, I'd be willing to add furloughed workers, because we're going to pay them anyway. Would you, I'm just asking, I mean, would you substitute your bill, take my bill, substitute it in? I've actually got my staff to write the language to do this. Redline's probably not ready for prime time. We really need to get through Ledge Council, that kind of stuff. But would you take my bill, add furloughed workers, Say it's a done deal. Is that something you'd accept here today?
I'm happy to, if you're yielding the floor to me.
Yes.
The short answer is we do want to pay all federal employees because none of them should be punished. But we also don't want them to be fired and riffed during this period of time. I mean, you said in the private sector, people don't like to fire employees. I know, Senator, you've read the remarks of Russ Vought, the head of OMB. He wants to visit, quote, trauma on federal employees, and he wants to fire a lot of them. He has said so.
That's, again,
but that's an important piece here, right?
So, Senator, again, I'm trying to keep this. Let's not argue, okay? Let's focus on areas of agreement. Okay, so even reduction in force. Okay, again, I think we probably have a philosophical agreement there. I'm not associating myself with anybody's remarks. I'm just talking about that's something that I think reasonable people can disagree with. And I think reasonable people can come to an accommodation. Again, when we're talking about making sure that 2.8, I think is about the number, 2.8 million federal employees aren't worried about getting the next paycheck. I mean, that so overwhelms quite honestly, the smaller differences about the length of the bill or, what reduction in force. Again, and I'm willing to come a long way.
Senator,
I'm willing to come a long way in terms of including furloughed workers. So again, what I'm suggesting is the way to do it. And by the way, this could be a wonderful example for this body. Working on a piece of legislation that, again, you bring it to the floor. We filed it. Got Rule 14, but we're doing it the right way. We're going to ask for a cloture vote on it. Get it on the floor, open it up to amendments, perfect it. See what the body of the Senate wants to do with this piece of legislation that, again, we probably agree 95% of it or higher. The way to do it is when I offer my bill and we vote on cloture, vote for cloture. Let's get on the bill. Let's start discussing today. I mean, maybe if we're so successful, maybe if we find the differences are so slight, we can pass it by UC later in the day. But we do need to take this back to our conferences. We do need to go to ledge staff. We need to perfect this. It'll probably take more time. But again, passing it by unanimous consent is not the way to do it. Just is. I mean, I appreciate the attempt. I appreciate the dialogue. That's not what I'm asking. In all sincerity, for the benefit of those 2.8 million workers, our military, our law enforcement, let's take that burden off them today. Let's give them some hope to know this body is going to finally do something in a nonpartisan, I call it nonpartisan way, that we all agree on. We're going to work out, we're going to iron out our differences the way you would generally do it, the way it used to be done.
The other day, they was talking about opening up the government temporary. I completely agree. Open up the government temporary so everybody can get paid, so everybody won't go homeless or won't be starving. Okay, let the EBT / SNAP benefits come on for the next 2 months, and then once we get our EBT stuff, then you could probably say, yeah, we could temporarily close the government to come with their agreement, but we're gonna open it up and let y'all get your benefits, your medical benefits, your food benefits, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? Your paycheck is gonna come. We're gonna give you like a month and a half to make sure you get your stuff, and then I agree with that. But closing the government to the point where nobody's getting paid, nobody's getting paid except for the people in Congress, that is crazy. That's so stupid. That's just proving y'all don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about us.
Be done by getting onto a bill.
In fact, they're illegally firing people during the shutdown.
Again, Senator, I really didn't want to come and argue. I really.
Okay, well, why don't we sit down? Why don't we sit down together?
I have to dispute that because even the National Active and Retired Federation Employees Association, who's endorsed my bill, says the bill does not single out favored political functions over disfavored ones. And you understand, under the Anti-Deficiency Act, under the opinions from the Office of Legal Counsel, accepted employees, it's pretty well standard. There may be some tweaks back and forth, which is what you give the latitude of the executive branch. Again, I'm willing to sit down. I'm sure the Republican Congress is willing to sit down and go, okay, what should we do? I think Congress has given way too much authority to the executive branch. I don't mind dialing that back a little bit. But again, the way to approach that is let's get on the bill. Let's talk about it. Let's offer amendments, amendments that pass by voice vote, and let's get it done. There's a lot of pressure on all of us. We all want to get this done. But again, passing by unanimous consent is not the way to get it done. The way to get it done is the way the process should work. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful to actually see the process work in the Senate? Again, I realize you don't like.
Senator, I would love to see the process work.
And then let's sit down in good faith. Let's hammer out amendments and let's get the thing passed next week. Let's do that. That's all I'm asking. Again, I honestly hate to object to this. I don't want to. Okay. But again, this is not the way to pass it. So again, I'll speak to my bill. I know we've got to get votes for that kind of stuff. But again, truthfully, I'm in as good a faith as I possibly can be. We have to get this done. And the way to do that is vote to get on the bill. Let's sit down and talk in good faith, and let's see and hammer out what it might be pretty minor differences when all's said and done. Okay? But with that,
well, let me just say, Mr. President, just to say to the Senator Johnson, I'm more than happy to sit down with you. I think we should do that maybe later today, get our teams together, see if we can resolve some of these points.
They need to stop playing forever. Stop fucking playing with people's shit. You're doing all this talking.
At least for the period of the shutdown,
and nothing's being
the president should not be able to fire additional people, which is, I think you well know, and this was partly considered by the federal court already. The president actually has less authority to do in a shutdown than when the government's open. But I don't want to debate these issues on the floor right now. Sure. I am more than happy to try and sit down with your team and see if we can
let me
resolve.
quick address that. I think this brinkmanship has got to end here. I mean, I've been here 15 years. We should have passed 180 appropriation bills. Before the start of the fiscal year, we've passed 6. Again, a lot of people working in good faith to do that, okay? It's obviously broken. We've got to start working on appropriation and budget reform. We've got to start working on that together, okay? But my guess is part of what's happening with reduction in force is that brinkmanship, trying to get you folks to just agree to what you've done 13 times. Just open up the government, then we'll talk, okay? We're more than open to talk. But anyway, so again, I'm literally begging you, please. Well, when we vote on cloture, vote to get on the bill, and then let's go through the amendment process and let's get it done quick. Again, there's not that big a difference. We can get this done, but again, I hate to do this, but with that, I will object and just, again, beg.
Objection heard.
Let's.
Mr. President,
Senator from Maryland.
as I said to the senator from Wisconsin, happy to sit down with him and his team to see if we can put together a proposal based on the principle that no